Here is a demo of taking interview using Tuftung AI. So I'll have to start the recording first, which I'll do from here. This will start recording and then I'll start the conversation. Hello.
Hi, I'm a product manager at Google, and I'll be conducting your case interview today. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
Google has built a mood tracking API for animals. How would you design a product using it?
Okay, that's interesting. Does this API has any latency? Is it real time? And second question I would have is like, what is the input and output response mod? What is the input here and what is the response looks like for this API?
Good clarifying questions. The API has a 1-second lag, so it's near real time. As for input and output, it takes data from a tagging device on the animal, and the output is a 1 to 20 scale, where each point corresponds to a different type of emotion.
Okay, interesting. And
Great. Now,
okay.
what kind of animal would you like to focus on?
Oh, so my approach was a bit different. Like, I was thinking that given the API is almost real time, like a 1 second lag, it could be used to judge emotions pretty nicely. Uh, would you mind if I take a couple 30 seconds to think through like what are the use cases, scenarios to focus on?
That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Take your time to think through the use cases and scenarios.
Thank you. So I could think of four use cases. The first one is in military. I've seen like dogs and animals being used there to detect and sniff scenarios where bombs and other squad use it. So if we can track emotions, that could also make it much more accurate. So that is the first use case. The second I could think of is new pet owners. So I've seen this in my family when my brother had a pet. They had to they were pretty anxious, like how what is the dog going through, what emotions, whether he or she is eating right or not. So I think that could be a good solution for a pet owner. And the third scenario that I could think of is in general, like
Okay, those are 3 interesting use cases. The military, new pet owners, and what was the third scenario you were going to mention?
yeah, the third scenario I was mentioning was about like general scenario, for example, street dogs, animals in the natural park and all, where we need to monitor like how they are feeling when they need to be fed and all those. So that it could be a good solution for businesses, government and owner of those parks. So these were the
Okay, so
main
you've
three solutions that I have.
Okay. Out of those 3 scenarios, which one would you like to focus on to create a product?
So to create a product, I would like to focus on the third one because I think in the military one, I do think there is a lot of there is good impact in terms of life saved, but it's not that widely applicable. And I'm also not sure what will be the outcome of the research. Like we do need to spend a lot of time there. In the case of pet owner, there could be case of these pet owner paying for this kind of services, but the outcome again is not very clear in terms of impact on the world because it's a product that we in Google are designing. I will also think about that the third one where we are helping the businesses, governments take care of street animals and also like in the parks, natural resources. It will be helpful for overall world. So I think that way it's pretty nice. And the second is that it could have business potential too because we are charging the businesses. So that's why you'll go with the third one.
Okay, so you want to focus on the third scenario, which is using the API to monitor street dogs and animals in natural parks. That's a good choice, given the potential impact and business opportunities. Now let's focus on the customer. What would be the specific problem we are solving for them?
Yeah, so let me take 10 seconds to think through what are the problems that we'll be focusing on for our target customer segment.
Sure, take your time.
Okay, so I could think of three problems. The first one
Okay,
is
what are
Yeah. So the first one is the food, like when should be fed, and like for street animals and even for park and all, you don't keep a track. Like, have you fed everyone or not? So I think this could be a nice solution there, and could be helpful in sort of diverting resources to the right animals there. The second one I think is the life threat detections. So, for example, if you can track how they are feeling, if they are feeling anxious or they're about to do something that would not be helpful for other animals or for their life, you could track that and save their life. Or let's say they are not doing well and you could monitor that and get to. I think that would be pretty helpful. The
Okay, that's two good problems.
Yeah,
Feeding schedules and life threat detection. What's the third problem you identified?
the third problem that I have identified is many cases these animals are also used to entertain people, and if they are not in a if they are in bad mood, it will not look nice, or people will get afraid, like kids and all. So if you could keep a track of their mood, you could only bring them out or let people go when they are feeling good. So that could be the third problem statement. I think out of three, I
Okay,
would
so
want. Go ahead.
okay, those are three solid problems. Now, out of those three, which problem would you like to focus on for your product?
So I'll focus on the life-threatening one, and the clear reason is the impact here is pretty high. That a lot of cases, we these animals are under what you call extinction and other. And if you can keep track of how they are feeling when they need help, and if there is any scenario where they are getting affected, you could get the help in time. I think that would be pretty impactful. So that is what I'll focus on.
Okay, you want to focus on life threat detection. That's a solid choice, given the potential impact. So, how might we help track the emotion of the animals to detect the threat? Can you give me a how might we statement?
Yeah, so how might be statement here is that how can we use emotions as a way to uh, preserve, as a way to protect and also give good life to these animals?
Okay, that's a good how might we statement. It's clear and focused. Now let's start thinking about potential solutions. What are some ways that we can help track the emotions of the animals and help with life threat detection?
Yeah, give me 10 seconds and I'll get back to you.
No problem, take your time.
So I have three solutions. The first one is sort of a simple API infrastructure solution. These businesses, animal government can call these APIs, get the emotion real time, and then continue with the tracking, divert resources. The second was more
Okay.
complex, where we give a batch level monitoring across the animals. So they buy this device, and across these 100 devices, we keep a track in real time and inform these people whenever there is a scenario to take proactive action. And in fact, we could also call certain tools, raise alarms, and things like that, so that we are more helpful. The third solution that I was
Okay.
thinking was more out there, which is that we do some research to figure out how emotions relate to certain visuals. So let's say for humans, when you meet your mother or you see nature, you feel calm. So if we know certain these kind of symptoms in animals also, so what we can do is marry a VR solution with the API tracking, that we are detecting the APIs all the time, and whenever these animals are not feeling good, we show a VR imagery then and there using this device to make them feel calm, or maybe some music that makes them feel calm, and that way we reduce their stress, we save their life, we make them feel a lot better. So these are the three solutions that I could think of.
Okay, those are three very different solutions: a simple API, a batch monitoring system, and a VR approach. Out of these three, which solution would you like to focus on for your product?
So I'll cut the call here because we just had 10 minutes, but it was really nice talking to you. And I'll get back to you on the next part in the next interview. Thank you so much. So here is a debrief. So if you do interview using Tough Tongue AI, you can get a nice record of what interviews you did, your score, and areas of improvement. So in this case, it gave me a score. It did give me a nice set of feedback that I went through offline. For example, I was very quick in giving solutions. I could have spent more time, which I abruptly cut the call. The solutions were all very distinct, and I was not tying it back to the original problem that, okay, this is the goal we started with. Maybe I should have set up in 3 years, we want to go there, and then keep tying back that why I'm making those decisions. That makes it a lot more clear to the interviewer what you're doing. So I did try to highlight my couple of these. It also gave me some tips on areas I could improve, the books I could read, like Pyramid Principles, Star Technique, or Decode and Conquer, of course, is the famous book here. But I could also ask, like, what more creative solution I could have gave. So this could be your area where you could improve your interviewing a lot. For example, like, was the problem framing not better? Then ask, like, what sort of problem I should have found, which customer segment were more possible. So in this case, it says like social network for animals, which sounds interesting. Smart environment control, maybe temperature, lighting, interactive enrichment system. So all of these are pretty interesting. Multimodal response, which is also pretty on time. So this could be your nice guide to help prepare for the interview, because now you can get one more brain to help you brainstorm, find solutions and all. Thank you so much.